Y'all ready for this? It's been 3 years since Breath of the Wild was first released. Happy birthday! So, I decided to try and travel on every road in Breath of the Wild. Roads would be these, well, roads in the map. Why did I do this? Great question. Anyway, I just wanted to show off how I did it and just give some background on certain aspects of this run. So, first off, I had some rules for myself. I had to only stick to roads, and the only time I can deviate from that is if I need to get to a tower or to get some shrines, because I needed some extra stamina and hearts for certain sections. And for that, I tried to take the shortest path from the road. On the Great Plateau, however, I could do whatever I want, since there are no roads, but it is required to complete before doing anything else. I took advantage of this somewhat, so, I farmed for food and weapons and stuff, and I also used a goddess statue in the Temple of Time to get all my upgrades. Now, a key element in this run was stables, since horses automatically follow the roads. Full disclosure, I did use my Link amiibo to get Epona, since I would have had to go off-road to catch a wild horse. But I rode Epona all around, and she basically discovered some of the paths before I got to the towers to reveal the actual maps. I did have the interactive map open on my laptop next to me for reference though, since I really didn't want to find out that I messed up after activating a tower and then I'd have to start over. I'm pretty sure I discovered all the stables in the map, and I also got the shrines near them, so I could use those as sort of pivot points and just teleport to them as needed. Riding Epona on the roads was pretty easy. In fact, it had some real boring moments, so sometimes I would just let Epona do her thing while I did some other work on the side. The real challenge was the towers. Obviously, some of them were difficult to get to because of enemies or placement, but that's just part of the game. Since I had no map, I had to estimate the shortest path from the road to the tower. I think I did fairly well considering. Like over here, it's a little bit slanted because I had to account for the strong current of the river. The Wasteland Tower was pretty far from the road and a lot of climbing. I had to do a lot of routing to get up there in as straight a line as possible with my tiny stamina wheel. And the Gerudo Tower, I didn't even bother, because 1, there weren't any roads in that region, so no point, and 2, it was way too far from the road, like this region. That's way too much. But everything else, I managed to find pretty good paths. The most difficult part of the run was definitely all this jazz here in Castletown Ruins. Man, that's like turning on a neon light. Anyway, I wasn't even planning to get all this middle stuff here. Even getting this front area was a nightmare with all the guardians. Horses are not good at outmaneuvering guardians. So I was like, okay, I'll get everything up to the outer walls here, and maybe this little section here. That section alone caused me more deaths than any other part of the run. But when I ran through this little section here, I entered the ruins and there was nothing apart from a decaying guardian out here. I realized that all the guardians inside were far enough apart that I could deal with them one-on-one with my shield and just save frequently. So for the next hour, I walked around all these little paths. Not really sure how this diagonal happened. I might have cut across while running from a guardian or something. Whatever. I finished off with a sprint to the Sacred Ground ruins, at which point I warped back to the Great Plateau where I died twice so that those X's don't ruin the aesthetic of the rest of the map. So there you have it. Obviously it's not perfect, but man, zoomed out, that really is satisfying. That's 12 hours I'm never gonna get back. Anyway, this run definitely reinforced how boundless this game can be, because 3 years and almost 400 hours later, I was still discovering new stuff in the map. But I love that you can keep the game fresh for years just by doing different weird stuff with it. I think it's safe to say I'll never get tired of it. Besides, Breath of the Wild 2 is still pretty far off. So I think I'm gonna do a pacifist run next time.